Khasinews College harungkat kejingan Threlang baka Directorate of School Education and Literacy ke Sorkar Jylla haka pratrik ujilio arajar arpulai kalau pelong ye kejing ajing hikai ke babanya ikino hikai school but college prepare habi ade baka National Education Policy arajar arpo kebelalong Khasinews College haba ajing keren gini kejingalang menteri badai pej ketanat Pule Puthi ke Jylla rakam e sangma uloong banda keliang ke Sorkar ke kuak ban Kyntiew kham syajrong ye ke Pule Puthi ke Jylla rengkat baka start teknologi jang kejuk ke pemerintah.
The increase on the dais on all resource persons, chairpersons of different sessions that we will, and I welcome all of you to this two-day. Now we will commence this inaugural session of this two-day workshop, and I request Khasinews College to kindly lead us in the opening.
From different parts, different corners of this region.
With your presence. I take this opportunity to our keynote speaker for this workshop, Reverend, your presence and your acceptance to our invitation to the Chief Minister and also advisor to the Education Department. I'm pleased to have you here as someone weakness, opportunity and challenge to welcome our resource person, Professor School, Reverend Father Dr. A. Pule, Popper, President Potter Education Foundation, Vice President of Potter Education Network, Dr. Central Institute of Vocational Education,
Advisor to the Government of Meghalaya, Department of Education, to the Social Science Professor.
as you our state Meghalaya will also adopt the NEP 2020 in the schools, colleges and university. I believe that this will be a turning point in the education sector of our state and our country. For years we have languished behind our global peers in the school as well as in the higher education. As I learn more and more about NEP 2020 and its benefit, I feel that this reforms in the scheme of education will open new doors for our students. Yes, we will face several challenges at the early stage and during the transition periods of interpretation and implementation, but I am glad that today we have been able to bring the best mind in our country in this 2 days workshop to deliberate on various aspects and intricacies of NEP 2020. Once again, I welcome.
21st century is powered by technology. It's fueled by information. It is driven by knowledge. And knowledge construction becomes critical for new invention and discovery to address the emerging challenges of the ever-changing world. It is in this context that we have NEP 2020, which has the potential to translate into much needed and timely reformatory movement. The Government of India has created national policy on education and to encourage education across all economic strata and include common person in the mainstream. This strategy covers a wide range of topics, from elementary education to institutions for higher learning in both rural and urban context. The policy is comprehensive, all-encompassing and far-sighted, and it will undoubtedly play a major role in the country's future development.
I'd also like to thank the principal, Dr. R.M. Lyngba, for inviting me to this 2-day national workshop. And to all the resource persons, I would not like to take all the names, but my heart goes to all of you for giving this valuable time this morning to come and impart your knowledge amongst us here, particularly on this new subject that we are trying to know, we're trying to catch up with. The national education policy. And I must really thank the organizers for bringing us all together here today, for giving that kind of insight on the need to educate our educators. First and foremost, I think all of us need to be educated. Not just you sitting out there, but also us who are policymakers. This education policy is being talked about in the streets, in the corner of the school playgrounds, in the classrooms, in the common rooms. But what we hear mostly is
grumblings. Am I right? What is this government trying to do? We are not yet done with the previous policy and they have brought in a new policy. How do we do this? How do we do that? Where are we going to get money? Where are we going to get teachers? Who's going to fund us? It's a series of questions that keep coming. I'm sure the resource person will also repeat the same kind of a question to you. But when we meet like this, we put our heads together and we are here to solve those questions. There's no shortage of questions. Whenever you try to bring a change, be it in your house, be it in the society, be it in your locality, be it in your village, be it in the town, anywhere, you try to bring a change, there will be a lot of questions, there will be a lot of critics. But we need to overcome, because we know that this policy is going to bring a change for the good, not a change for the worse. I have just joined my assignment as advisor to the Government of Meghalaya Education Department. I'm very privileged. I must thank the government for picking me and putting me in this kind of an assignment where I have a very good friend in the minister. I joined on Monday, and from Monday on, 6 hours every day we are sitting with the minister, breaking our heads of how to go about bringing a change in the education sector of the state. That is when this invitation card landed up on Sir's table, and he said, you must also come along with me. We all know where we stand. Each and every head teacher here, or the principal, or the headmaster, headmistress, knows about his or her school. If you ask any headmaster or headmistress here, in the fingertips they'll say, I do not have sufficient teachers. I do not have this, I do not have that, I do not have a playground, I do not have a good school, I do not have sufficient classrooms. Am I right or not? Am I getting the response? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. I know. If I have to ask you now, please submit your memorandum, immediately memorandums will come here. And that is what I have seen for every function in any school that you go. First thing first, memorandum. Then they will give you lunch. Unless you commit anything on that memorandum, then when you get into the car, then they'll say, this fellow just came for nothing. What do you say, Minister? Am I right? So see, friends, we understand the problems on the ground. Today you're going to hear a lot of theories. Ye karna hai, wo karna hai, this has to be done, that has to be done, you people have to do this, you have to maintain this chart, maintain this thing, maintain this thing. Deep down in your head you will say, well, we will do. But, always a big but with dots. Because, when your children are hungry, when your school is leaking, when your children do not have books, when your children do not have uniforms, what do we do with the policy? Am I right or not? Therefore, we from the government are here to support you now. This policy has to be implemented. As it goes, funds will also flow. Because if you do not implement the policy, there is no funds. Am I right or not? Madam Sumo is really nodding it because she knows. She's been mugging this policy every day, every night. And she knows where we stand. Therefore, we must take this opportunity to implement the policy to bring a brighter future for our children. This policy is going to bring a bright future for every child in the state. Now, if I ask any of you, sir or madam, what is your dropout rate? Some may be brave enough to say, but some will shy away to say. They'll shy away, they'll say, sir, actually, not too many, one or two, but it's not a fact. There are many. There are many dropouts. We need to conduct a study now. I told the Honorable Minister yesterday that first and foremost we have to conduct a study on the dropouts. Why and how many? These two questions bog my mind because I do not want to see children dropping out. Now for flimsy reasons that okay, I have 12 children, now out of the 12 I'll support only 5 and the rest 7 you attend to the cows, attend to households, attend to this, you go and ballad. This is not acceptable anymore in this present century. 12 children if you want to have, please have. But all 12 children should be supported with education. Am I right? All 12 children. If you want to have so many children, I can't stop you. But please provide education to each one of them. This is what I want to tell. Therefore, the dropout rates has to be studied. This new policy, this education policy provides that space for our dropout children. Now, vocational training, skill development, these are the areas where we need to focus side by side. As teachers tomorrow, you may say, I'm a history teacher, I'm a science teacher, I've got nothing to do with vocational, I've got nothing to do with skill development. Please, no. Because these are the areas where if we allow our children, class 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so 5 years of skill development if we provide to our child from the class 8 onwards. If he reaches class 10, he appears as matric. I know that class 10 is not going to have exams anymore, but that is still to be accepted. And during those vacations, this skilled boy or skilled girl can go and get some livelihood for himself. And suppose due to poverty or due to some other factors, the child drops out from school, he is already skilled. Am I right or not? When he is skilled, then he is not unemployed anymore. He gets employment on his own. Somehow, if the child doesn't have a brain to study, but he has a brain that God has gifted him with something else, a talent to be an artisan, a talent to be a plumber, a talent to be an electrician, he could be somebody in life. Therefore, this policy provides those kind of platforms, those kind of rooms for such children who will not be able to continue with studies. My dear friends, this is the time that we should look at this policy on a positive note.
And here, respected Sri S.N. Sampalyam, so like to express the thanks to our Almighty for giving us this beautiful and wonderful privilege this afternoon. I never thought of this privilege because I born and brought up very, very rural with the the unique village of our state. But thanks to Almighty and for all the pioneers of the state. As what we are today, we should not forget the pioneers of our country, the pioneers of our state, because of whom we are here today. They have left us the wonderful assets for each one of us. They have left us, that brought us the wonderful concept for each one of us. And today, we should not forget many missionaries, especially as an North Asian state, as a Meghalayans. If we go back to the genesis of our history, we are just about 180 and 90 years old when the American missionary designed our alphabet, designed our education system in the state and in the country. But because of their commitment and their contribution, we are how and what we are today. But today, it's our responsibility. I was just talking to our principal just now. The beauty of our state, the unique of our state, is what we see here today. I think if I'm not wrong, 85 to 90% of our attendees here in this function, this auditorium, is our ladies, our mothers. We are grateful to all of you and we are proud of you. This is what the beauty that our state, our tribes that we have. This is the asset. Therefore, I would like to thank for the fall for highlighting the in-depth design concept of NEP 2020. And I would also like to thank the principal. I believe that this program, this seminar, this work is just the beginning. And lots to be done and many things to be worked out. Meghalaya have crossed over just the 50 years of our statute. And we are still many, many miles to go. If you look back at our history, it's not up to that standard that we expect. Education sector is a sector where we have to do lots more in the days to come. Any country, any nation, any community, any family which have the good quality and the educated country, educated people, educated community. We don't fight. Educated family, husband, I always say husband and wife, they sleep peacefully. But if there is somebody, your neighbors, who doesn't have, you were not able to sleep also. Yes, the world, the globally, is on the transition state these days. Now 1 month back, I was in London. I've been privileged to speak at Oxford University. I was talking today about this same issue. Because globally, the new education policy 2020 of Government of India, globally, it's what's talking about today. I think the concept, the design, the ideas of coming up with NEP 2020, it's really lots of concept, the objective to be met. India is really going ahead And our impact is being felt across the globe today. And the World Education Forum, which was organized in London, the founder and the CEO of COD Code Company, Mr. Hadi Parboti, he was giving the presentation on the computer science, was talking about artificial intelligence. The generation of artificial intelligence as of today. Then many minister has got up and complained. How it is possible? If you have the robot, if every workforces is substituted by artificial intelligence, where our people will go? The African nation, the South Asian nations, ministers, they just rise up and was raising this point. Where our people will go? Where our people will go? Where our students will work for a livelihood. There will be one. They will say. This is what he replied. Yes, this is true. Humans has been created uniquely by the God. We're all of us unique. But the development of science and technology and computer science in such a way that looks we are literally depending on computer science. But to me also, it's one of the questions that I always think about. It may be dangerous to all of us, and we should think about today. Then he replied, therefore, since the computer science has advanced tremendously, and it is going to replace human force, and it's going to substitute our wisdom, our ideas, our knowledge. But therefore, because the computer science is the product of human endeavor, has been designed by the human wisdom and knowledge. Therefore, as of today, we should not be guided by the technology. We should guide the technology. We should be able to control our technology. Therefore, globally, we should upgrade. We should design our education system in such a way that our system, our minds always run one step away from the technology. I think with this concern, the new education policy have designed to make our humans one step away than the technology. Then we will be able to control our world. So my friends, I believe most of the present here are teachers. I was also, at one point of time, I was also the lecturer in one college. I teach physics. So I never studied during my student time as I did as when I teach. I thought when I become a teacher, I think I don't need to study. But when I become practically as a teacher, I have to study more. I did my study research double. I think as a teacher, yes, I can teach my students by looking at the guidebook, reading a textbook, but our students will not enjoy. During my student times, boy is boy. We always run away from some particular teacher for the class. Because we feel worried during us, just when we were students. sometimes we run away from that class. Why? Because that particular teachers keep us boring always. But there's one teacher, one science teacher, when we're playing in the playground, we're going somewhere, when we have a science class just at 4 p.m. now, we always keep running. We always keep running. Because we want to listen the teachings of that teachers always. Because he always never see the book. He always teach what he knows. Therefore, what I want to tell you, my dear teachers, my dear faculty members of all the many institutions today, we should our teaching style, we should make our students friendly and happy. Would like to say, let's not become teachers of the book. Let's teach. Let's give a knowledge teaching to our students. We should prepare our students well. Therefore, and many of the teachers, this is where we have to do lots more. There's always room for improvement as a teachers, as a policymaker, as a government, as a students. Let's admit. I think this education policy, the policy of the government of India, will really inspire each one of us to go deeper in the subject, to obtain the knowledge, and to share to our students. And also, my friends, if we look at the Meghalaya context, normally in a year about 55 to 60,000 students are entering for the workforces. In Meghalaya, we have very limited jobs for our students. Hardly in a year, maybe 500 or 600 vacancies arise. In every year, about 50,000 students will be looking for the job. And we were able to absorb our children in our state. These students will be going out across the world, across the country, looking for employment. And therefore, as we're sending them off to all the sector, they should be efficient when they join in some company, some sector. Therefore, when we teach our students, all of us give the best so that they will be, our teaching will be job-oriented courses, I think, to be getting. Therefore, as a teacher, as a policymaker, as a state, we should always open our minds beyond our limit, beyond our boundary. We should, as we standing, we should always see the challenges of any kinds. As a state, Meghalaya has lots to be done. Lots to be done. Many personal great people of our state has inspired the nation and inspired the world. When you talk about Delhi University, Jawaharlal Nehru University, IIT Madras, when you talk about many universities of the country, but when we look toward North-Eastern state, sometimes we feel very far behind. I think as a news going across today. So, but the potential that we have, be as a teacher, be as a student, be as a state, I think we are second to nobody. But everybody should understand the potential, the resources that we have. Therefore, I would like to appeal to every teachers, every professors of the state, of every institution, let's use the best resources that we have and give the best knowledge to our students. Meghalaya, the Northeast, should felt presence in the country. As our father Paul just spoke, Meghalaya is always known for unique educational half of the northern state. But we should make this glory as an educational half of the country. One professor from Oxford University, the way we behave, that will be Spain. Why not Meghalaya? That's mind of the region, of the state. So therefore, my friends, this is our time. Let our former Speaker of the Lok Sabha, let P.A. Sangma, he always said to the masses, the objective of the present generation is not to consume the resources that we have today, but to protect and preserve and promote to the generation that is coming behind us. I think what the uniqueness, what the values that we have today, the knowledge is our asset. As we're going to live to our students, to our children's for tomorrow, we should make our state well so that our children will praise us tomorrow. Therefore, as a teachers, the research scholar of the country, of the region, of the state, we should go different, what the potential that we have. Somebody was talking to me. Look, the travel culture, it's a unique. The resources of our region is a unique. But our history have not impact at the national level. Maybe there's responsible to rest with our research scholar. Our beauty, our resources, the potential that we have in all sectors should be brought up, and it will be the responsible research scholar. The culture that we have, the tradition that we have, the knowledge that we have, we should make to the world known, so that the world recognize the Meghalayans, Northeastern for all these resources and for all this beauty. Therefore, we would like to appeal to each one of you, to each one of us, let us make this education sector friendly for our children. Let this sector is the asset that make us to go different. Friends, as a teacher, as a professor, as an educator, as you always say, always look upon as we are the cornerstone of our great nation, of our state, of our region. Therefore, in our teaching, in our behavior, in our policy making, we should inspire the society. It should not be the responsible of the education minister, the education department of the state. No. The responsibility is with each one of us. Let us soldier the responsibility in shaping the better future of this world. The world is looking ahead, looking forward, your contribution in the sector. Therefore, let's continue to do more, and let's make our presence felt in every state, in every sector, in every country of the world. Because fear not, I live my best wishes. I would like to happy to be